Hello everybody, Stanley Yates. This is a short video dealing with fast little trills that I'm making for Fingerstyle Guitar Journal. I'm very happy and honoured to be featured in the journal this coming issue. So, trills, we all know what trills are. We have a note, so it's this one. In the music there's a TR sign, and we do a twiddle of some kind. Well, I want to talk about not ones where we have lots of time, but ones that are very quick and that where notes are flying by very quickly. Now, there are two basic things we can do when we see a trill sign, or for that matter, if we just want to throw some trills in of our own that we like the sound of. So the most straightforward way is to play the written note, play the next note up of the scale, and pull off again. They're main note trills. There's 3 notes, and they're very fast, and they sound good in very fast passages. If we have a bit more time, and this will be more correct, you know, in certain situations, we instead play the note above instead, and pull off twice. So that's an upper note trill. That's 4 notes. Okay, so that's that. Simple enough. We choose which one fits for our purposes at any particular point that sounds good. Now, there's another way to do these. In addition to slurring, we can pluck them all the notes with the right hand, but not on the same string. That'd be horrible. We find the notes on 2 different strings, and then we play across the strings. That's a 3-note trill. Here's a 4-note trill. So these suddenly sound a lot different. They're very fast. You can do them really fast. They're very fast, they're articulate, they're clear, and they're kind of brilliant sounding. So we can use both these systems of trilling, with the left hand or with the right hand, and we just use them as we see fit and as it suits our purposes. Alright, so how do we develop the ability to play these very fast cross-string trills, and what's the fingering? Well, for the 4-note one, what most people use, I think, is a fingering A, M, I, P. So it's like a tremolo: ring finger, middle finger, index finger, thumb, but across 2 strings. So that's what most people use, and I think that's the one to go with. Now, I've never practiced that one, and because many years ago when I was younger, I learned a different one that I much prefer to use. Basically, I've made a kind of a virtue out of a mistake or something, but the fingerings I use for these trills, I use the middle and index, and then the ring finger and the middle. So this is M-I-A-M, M-I-A-M. And it doesn't use the thumb, so I can use the thumb for other things. Yeah, so I prefer that one. It's very easy for me now because I've done it for so long, but I would probably not recommend starting with that one. It's probably going to be more difficult to start out with, but everyone's different, so you may find that does work for you better than the A-M-I-P. Anyway, you can figure it out. So they're the fingerings. If we have a 3-note trill, I would just use index, A, and M. You could also use I-M-P. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of putting the thumb in all of this, because the thumb can sound a bit different than the fingers, although I'm sure that's a problem that can be solved with practice, but I just like to keep my thumb out of it and use my fingers only and let my thumb do other things. Anyway, that's that. How do we practice these? Because they have to be really quick and we can't think, just go do them. It's like rolling a chord. If we play a chord, after a bit of fiddling around, we can find the knack of just arpeggiating. And we're not really playing lots of fast notes when we arpeggiate, you know. We're playing a simple movement, but we're staggering the movements by playing them a bit sloppily in a way. I mean, I could explain what's going on there, but we don't need to know. We just need to get the feel of it. Anyway, it's the same with the trills. We want to look at these two fingers, the middle and ring finger. They're not very independent. We can't alternate very quickly. That's about as fast as I can go compared to the other two, you know. But we can do little bursts very quickly using a similar idea. So if I pluck these two fingers on on two strings, I can just roll them, or the other way around. It still feels like one thing to me. It's definitely not two separate movements. One finger pulls the other finger through. It's one movement, but it makes two notes. Now, if we're doing arpeggios or tremolo, we need to be very careful about the timing of those things so that it sounds the way it should. But with these trills, we're just trying to make the quickest possible pair of notes we can. Just boom. So once that's comfortable, you add the next little thing. So in the standard fingering, AM, you would add the index next. I'm just putting it on the string just to feel where it's going. Now I'm going to play, and it's just one little movement. Then you would add the thumb, and then you've got it. You repeat those gestures a lot of times, go through the process a lot of times, and over a period of I don't know how long, a couple of weeks, a month, who knows, you know. It'll become automated in your system, because to just to throw these things in without thinking, you know, you can't do it until they're completely plugged in. You just think trill and your fingers go, okay. So it takes a lot of internalizing. Like, you know, if you're playing an arpeggio, you're not thinking about the arpeggio anymore. You've internalized it. Okay, so that's how that works. If I was going to practice my fingering, M-I-A-M, I would take a similar approach. I'd start with A-M first, even though A-M are not at the beginning of my fingering. So I'd start with those two. Let's just do it like this. A-M. Then I put index finger before that, because I'm going to be doing M-I-A-M, I-A-M. And then I'll put the middle before that. Then I'd start putting my thumb, getting my thumb involved, as I'm wont to do. So that's how you practice those things. Now, this might seem a bit too fiddly and convoluted. I mean, you know, we're not going to become, you know, professional cross-string trill performers. That's not going to be our job. You know, we're just going to be guitar players. But there's other things you can do. If you don't feel this is for you, fine. You can just use the index and the thumb. It's just that it's not going to be as fast. It's very good and clear. So you can definitely do that. It sounds good, but it's going to be difficult to do very quickly if you're in a situation where you want to do a series of very fast ones. Another thing you can do is you can take the index finger and play the first two strings as a kind of glissing over, and then the middle, and with a little bit of a movement here. I've never practiced that either. With some work I could probably get it better. I don't know how good it would get compared to my preferred one, but it just doesn't sound great to me, that, but I'd have to practice it. But it's something you could, you know, in the heat of the moment, get away with, I think. Yeah, so there's some options for all of this trilling stuff. So I'd like to just end now with a little trick that I've been using along these lines for decades. I mean, it just happened to me. My ear did it to my fingers. I was so reading through something. I really wanted to hear a cross-string trill, and suddenly I was doing one where it seemed impossible. And it's like, well, how did I do that? So the thing about cross-string trills, you need a left-hand fingering to go with them, right? You got to get the two notes on different strings. But what if we have something like this? What if our... But we want to do it... Well, can't. But I can do this. So I'll leave that for you to work out. It's a trick. But what I think about these things is if it sounds good, it's good. All right, that's it for this. I hope you found it a little bit interesting. Perhaps you'll try some of this stuff out and might get some enjoyment out of it. So again, I'm very happy to be in the current issue of the journal. I hope you enjoy the interview and the arrangement and a little bit of an article I've written about the trills.